Chief Arbiter for the Masters, and Mr. Ganesh Babu, Chief Arbiter for the Challengers. I will read out for both. System of play, 8 players, single round robin tournament. Time control, 90 minutes plus 30 seconds increment. Default time, 30 minutes. Draw agreement. Players cannot agree for a draw before each player makes 30 moves. And if you have a three-fold repetition, you are not supposed to agree between yourselves. You have to call the arbiter and claim the three-fold repetition before 30 moves. If you are having a draw offer before 30 moves, it can be only because of three-fold repetition. That too you have to claim from the arbiter. Tie break, direct encounter, Sonibam Berger, number of wins and number of wins with black. So we have a proposal. If 2 or more players are tied for the first place with same number of points, then we propose to have a playoff for the top 2 players based on their tie break score. So it will be 2 blitz games, 3 minutes with increment of 2 seconds per move. And if it is 1-1 draw, then we will have one sudden death game, just like recently we had in WR chess. We will have 10 minutes for white, and black has to bid. Black has to bid for the lowest. Whoever requests for lowest time for black, he'll be getting black. If it is okay for you, this is only to decide the champion. And
I think if 3 players are tied, then all of
we will take only the first one and two.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it's better if all 3 play. No.
Yeah, especially in the challengers, there's one spot at stake, so I think it's better if everyone can.
Yeah.
So suppose 3 players are tied, you want to have a playoff between the 3.
Basically, even if
You want to have a knockout, then we will have to go for a knockout. Or a playoff among the 3, round robin for 3. Anyhow, it will be only 3 games. If you are, because it will be time consuming, that's why I am telling. If you are,
It will be more fair.
if you all agree, we can have like that.
yeah.
Okay. And how about if 4 players are tied?
How many number of people are there? Like all should play.
I
Yes.
think like in Vikenji, 4 players had tied and they did a knockout, if I'm not wrong.
No, the question is if 3 players or 5 players are tied, but I guess you can, worst case, you can do like some elimination game for some player. Like
Round robin is fine.
with
As we told, we can have like this. If there are 3 players or 2 players, you will go for a playoff. If there are more than 3 players, you will go for a knockout.
yes.
But if 5 players, how you do knockout? So what happens?
The number 1 player among the tie breaks will get a bye.
Yeah.
So that's fair.
It's okay? Right. Because I have to check with the organizer also. Srinath?
I'll try to call it.
Because this process may be time consuming sometimes if there are more than 2 players tying for the first place. And he might have fixed this closing ceremony. Guess he might have told them already. Okay, we'll check it later.
Then I think just,
We'll confirm after his arrival.
game timing would be changed.
No, we are already starting 12 o'clock instead of 1 p.m. as given in the brochure. The final round, except the final round, all the rounds will start at 3 p.m. in the evening, in the afternoon. And final round will start at 12 noon. So fair play regulations, you know, we have to strictly follow the FIDE fair play regulations. And it is the duty of the player to be available for the fair play check on time before the start of the round. So, yeah.
Can we bring our mobiles and leave it in a storage?
You can give it to us, no problem. Sure. There is a mobile counter that is for public. we can have a separate one for players also if we need. So as there will be a fair play check, we request you to be here to start from the hotel around 2:15 to 2:20. It will take 10 minutes to 15 minutes because actually today when I started from the hotel, from the venue to hotel, it took about 35 minutes. But of course, it is traffic time. In the afternoon, it may be less traffic, maybe about 15 minutes. So I request you to be there around 2:30, so that you have a holding area. You have a waiting room. You can go there and relax yourself in the waiting area. You can come to the hall about 5 minutes or 10 minutes earlier for the checkup, fair play checkup. As far as possible, the checking will be carried out before and after the game. So please cooperate with this fair play officer, Mr. Atharva Godbole. He is the fair play executive candidate. So mobiles, I already told you, no issue. And kindly avoid wearing watches. Anyhow, it's our duty to check it. It's also your duty to not to wear it, please. And we'll be providing official pens. So you need not bring your own pens to record the moves. Attire that covering the ears are not permitted without the consent of the arbiter. Okay, then important points I will read. We'll display everything tomorrow in the venue. The players are not permitted to speak to their opponents. I need not elaborate this. All the games will be screened by Professor Kenneth Reagan's FIDE screening tool. And we will have a delay of 15 minutes of game broadcast. Srinath, they propose to have for 2 players, it's a direct 2 blitz and one, in case one on draw, we will have a Armageddon. And in case there are 3 players, they want to have a playoff between the 3 players, a round robin. If it is more than 3, they want to have a knockout. Will it be okay for you?
No, the problem with having an extended tie break is that we'll need to start the closing ceremony by 7. We cannot have it later. The more extended the tie break gets, the more longer it can likely take. So if we have a longer tie break, then we'll need to start the last game a bit earlier, I think. If that's okay with everyone, then we can have a more longer tie break.
We can also see, like we'll know before the date, right?
No, that cannot be done because we have a last round schedule. We're also putting out tickets based on the last round, and so a lot of schedules are based on that. So
Armageddon can be made shorter, right? Instead of waiting, it can be 5-4. That's also not.
You can do 5-4.
yes, but that doesn't really save a lot of time. I think what is really taking longer time is if we have 3 players with the same points, and if you have multiple rounds, then that adds up a lot more time. You're not really saving a lot of time with 5 versus 4, because between 10 versus 7, let's say, and 5 versus 4, you're saving maybe 8 minutes, which is not such a long time. But when you have multiple rounds, then you have breaks in between, and all these things adds up to the time. So if we want to have a larger, right now, there's a 1 hour window for the tie break to ensure that everything follows the schedule. If we have more than 1 round, then we'll have to shift the last round accordingly. That's the options we have.
11:30 will be okay.
I think earlier than.
Then we have to go for 11 o'clock.
I think classical games will finish by 3:30 max, right?
No, 12 means maybe 4:30. We cannot achieve.
I mean,
We start by 12 o'clock.
Game, it's 4 hours. Yeah.
So we start at 12.
11 o'clock. In that case, we have to start by 11 o'clock at least.
No, if we start at 12, then we go for, let's say, 5 hours.
Yeah, and we have like 1 hour for the tie break. 2, 3 plus 2, 1 hour market.
You want to start at 7, right? It was.
Yes.
We have to come here. We have to come here actually. From the hall, we have to come here for the
Closing ceremony
Closing
is
ceremony.
being held here.
Yeah.
Is to be held here.
So that time will be very traffic.
Another half an hour or 40 minutes at the time.
I just think the tiebreak idea is, eliminating somebody who scored the same who scored the same amount of points from competing for the place is illogical. Especially because there's a spot at stake for the challengers. So.
Also circuit first.
Yeah, but practically these are the only 2 options we have. If we insist on having a tie break for the first place, then
Maybe we can take a vote for players who are ready to start at 11.
sure, that works.
If 11 is okay for you, then we'll start by 11 o'clock on the final day. Is it okay for you?
I think so.
We are going to follow this system as proposed by Mr. Vijay.
Would it be possible to change if we realize that? No, I don't mind. Yeah.
11?
Want to have at 11?
11 a.m.
That's fine.
It's fine.
Okay.
Now there better be tie breaks.
Sure. So last one we changed to 11, and you can then explain the. So in this case, for a 3-player tie, we have a round robin. Yes.
3-player tie, round robin.
Or do you think the player who finishes first by tiebreak should get some kind of an advantage, or do we just have a 3-player round?
You want to have playoff for 3 players.
Yeah. Okay.
Single round robin?
You mean like just 3 plus 2, 3 plus 2? Like what's the form? Should be 3 plus 2.
Yeah, 3 plus 2.
Just best of 1. Like.
And what if it's equal after the 2 games?
Well, then the player who scored the least points. I mean, if they all throw.
No, what if?
I mean, if it's everybody's tied.
No, like this only, they will have 2 games of bliss. In case of a tie, we'll go for Armageddon.
No, but what if the 3 players are tied among themselves then?
Yeah.
Which is possible.
Every game is a
So, I mean, at some point, I guess, then first should get a bye, but.
Yeah. Knockout. Yeah.
Should it be after the first round or second round of this?
As I suggested earlier, the 2 and 3 will play 3 plus 2 and 3 plus 2, and they will qualify for the finals with the number 1 player in the tie break.
What if they're all tied with the same?
2 games, bliss.
No, if they're tied in tiebreaks, it's also possible.
No, first we have tie break based on the one I have already given. Direct encounter, Sonebon Burger, number of wins with black.
No, all of this.
So we decide
It happened.
the rankings according to the tie break first. So if there are 3 players tied, then we will keep number 1 as a bye. He goes to the finals directly. And number 2 and number 3 will play with each other. And the winner will be qualifying to meet number 1 in the finals. Is it okay?
I agree with that.
Yeah, but what if there are 4 players? Then
4 players knockout. 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3. And then winner will meet each other in the finals. 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3.
First, one of tiebreaks, but I don't know.
if there are 3 players, right?
Yeah.
But how do best of 2
But just one.
No, everything, let us have best of 2, that's better.
Yeah.
1 with white, 1 with black.
But that can be tied now.
Yeah, if it's tied, then that's okay. It's
Then you want first this, and then the first player gets an advantage if it's a tie.
yeah. That's okay. It's maybe takes too much time. So.
I don't know what others.
I think 1 getting a direct bye to the finals in case of 3 players will be better, I think. 2 and 3 will play.
What if first and second are tied? By tie
No, go
it
with
can happen.
on all 4. You mean
On all the 4 criteria,
on all the 4?
like hidden, direct, and
Yeah, I
indirect,
understand.
Yeah.
But the possibility is less because of Sonebam pressure. Sonebam pressure most probably will give different data for
I
different players.
mean, many draws, they beat the same player. It has happened in the past. So.
There's a possibility, but chances are less.
What is the
I understand that we should be prepared.
Yeah.
What is the fourth?
Fourth one.
Third is the
4 players. You mean for 4 players?
No, sir. Direct encounter, SB, wins with black.
Number of wins and number of wins with black.
I mean, it easily happens that 2 players have exactly the same result in the tournament, in which case, okay, number of wins with black will be the only option that will make a difference.
You can also win with black against the same player.
Yes. You can also
If
have
you
like a
think,
rating performance.
if you think the first 2 are
lower
tied,
rated player gets.
if you think the first 2
Yeah,
are
you
tied,
can decide.
MBL, if you think the first 2 are tied, then I suggest the first 2 will play 1 game to decide 1 and 2.
Actually, that's right.
Then what to do?
Yeah,
sense.
yes,
Makes
yes,
sense.
this makes sense.
Yeah. They will play only 1 game.
Yeah.
I mean Armageddon.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes,
Fair.
That's okay?
Yeah.
So I will just brief you. If 2 players are tied, then they will go directly to the. They will play directly 2 blitz games. If still tied, then they will play Armageddon. 10 minutes for white, and black has to bid. That is first case. 3 players are tied means number 2 based on the tie breaks proposed above. I mean direct encounters on a one berger, number of wins and number of wins with black. Then 1 will get a bye to the finals, directly will qualify for the finals, number 1. 2 and 3 will have a playoff with 2 games of blitz. If tied, 1 Armageddon, and the winner will meet number 1 in the finals. This is for 3 players. If it is 4 players, then they will have a knockout, 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3. The winners will play. Same pattern, 2 blitz, still tied means 1 Armageddon. And if it is 5 or more, maybe the chances are less. We will have again a knockout. Again, the number 1 will get a seat to the directly to the finals. I think chances are very, very remote for 6 players getting tied. Is it okay? Right. Thank you. So protest, huh? So for protest against the decision of the arbiter, we are forming an appeals committee. You have to pay the player has to pay a protest fee of $200. If the appeal is upheld, it will be refunded. I will read the appeals committee. So appropriate FIDE code for dress has to be followed. No torn jeans, no slippers, etc. You know, all of you know, as we are all playing Olympiads. And for food and drinks, of course it is written here, it is in the refreshment area only, but you are allowed to keep food and drinks. You will have a separate table about 1.5 feet height. You can keep it separately. Don't put it on the playing table. Please don't put on the playing table. You will be provided with a separate table for each board. So schedule all games 3 hours, 3 o'clock, and final round, instead of 12 hours, it is 11 hours. Prize money and all, you know, list of players, numbers I will tell you. Appeals committee, we have a proposal to have Grandmaster Lavan Aronian and Grandmaster Maxim and Grandmaster Vidit, and reserve will be Grandmaster Alexei. For challengers, the appeals committee will be Srinath Narayanan, Adiban, and Dronavali Harika. So these are the points I would like to share with you. If you have any other point you would like to clarify, anything else? If there is nothing to discuss, thank you very much. We'll see tomorrow. Pairing is already done. Tomorrow's pairing for Masters, Aravind Chidambaram versus Tabatabai, Maxim versus Parham, Vidit versus Arjun, and Aronian versus Sarana. And for challengers, Vaishali, Leon, Raunak, Karthikeyan Murali, Pranesh, Puranik, Pranav, Harika. Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Yeah, upload it.